My panel cart is flexible, mobile, and can deliver over 1,000 watts of pure solar power. And on a sunny day, it has no problem meeting my daily energy needs, along with recharging the batteries on my power cart, making this a really robust solar generator. On March 18th, 2021, the electrical grid in my neighborhood went down for just over 28 hours. And this is how I utilized my total system to power my whole house, with minor adjustments to my lifestyle and minimum use of my propane generator. This is what happened. At about 4 p.m., while my wife and I were shopping, I got a call from my neighbor telling me that our power went out at about 3:30. So at 3:29, the power company was meeting the customer's needs, and at 3:30, we were on our own. I built my solar generator just for a situation like this. We went ahead and finished our shopping, and when I got home, I connected the power cart to my house to restore power to all of my appliances except the 240-volt dryer and AC unit. Okay, the power's off. We lost power because of a telephone pole problem. Now we're going to go ahead, I'll turn this light on so you can see it come on. Okay, so turn this light on to give us some help. Turn the power off so that we don't backfeed to the line. Inverter's on.
You need to turn that light on because I can't see what you're doing. It's all black.
It's all black?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hold that. Okay, now can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, main is off. Just turn the inverter on. Okay, so there's no electricity on this side, so I'm going to plug the house in. There's no current coming this way. And now I'll turn that on, and now the whole house is powered. Okay, and then now the rest of the house, there. Now we're powering the whole house. The batteries were at about 65% charged because I had been running the garage on it all day, and it was an extremely overcast sky. The panels were only producing less than 10% of their capacity. At 5:45, I checked my Victron app, and the panels were no longer producing energy, so I started monitoring the battery status. They had only yielded 250 watts for the entire day. At 7:50, I checked the battery status, and they were down to 26%. That is when I decided to run the generator to charge the batteries so that they could be used later that night. I hooked up the generator to run my house and simultaneously recharged the batteries on my power cart. At 11:40, the batteries were fully charged, so I made a decision to switch over to the power cart at midnight to run my whole house until morning. At midnight, with the batteries 100% charged, I shut down the generator and connected my whole house to the power cart and went to bed without having to listen to a noisy generator or be concerned about going outside to replace a propane tank in 27-degree weather. Throughout the night, the power cart provided power to 2 refrigerators and a freezer, my CPAP, and the sump pump, which runs at least 3 to 4 times per hour. That is why I have a battery backup for it, and I've had it for at least 22 years. Outside lamp posts, cable box, modem, and Wi-Fi, and the temperature dropped down to 27 degrees that night, so the furnace was working normally for this time of year to keep the house at 68 degrees. There were also clocks on the microwave, stove, and in the 2 bedrooms, and a few other insignificant items that required power. Around 8:15 a.m., the sun was high enough above the horizon to clear the trees to start supplying enough light for the panels to produce energy. The power cart was down to 41% capacity, and the forecast for the day was sunny, sunny, and more sun. And the power company still could not tell us how much longer the power would be off. So the plan was to run the solar for as long as I could, and if I needed to during the day, I could always fire up the generator again and run my house and recharge the batteries. At least now I had multiple options and I didn't have to totally rely on the generator. Throughout the day I continued to run everything that I ran at night except the CPAP machine and the outside light. We had the TV for a couple of hours, the microwave at least 5 times, the toaster oven twice, a small space heater for 25 minutes, and the hair blower. We washed a load of clothes late in the afternoon and planned to dry them when the generator was running, because the clothes dryer is 240 volts. We only had one issue. I got a high wattage notice, about 3,257 watts from the app when the sump pump kicked in. While all 3 of the refrigerators were running, the furnace was on, and the microwave was going, and some other lights were running. But because the Multi-Plus can surge up to 6,000 watts, it handled the load without any problems. At 6:50, the sun had gone down behind the trees and the panel stopped harvesting energy. The batteries were at 80%, and the panels yielded 8,060 watts of power throughout the day. My plan was to run off the cart until 9 o'clock, start the generator, recharge the batteries, and run the house until midnight, and start the process all over again if the city power was not restored. Just about 7:30, my neighbor walked over and told me that the power was back on. So I disconnected the power cart and went back to city power. Okay, so you're going to have to hold that because we're going to lose the power here. Okay, first thing you want to do is we want to turn the inverter off. We're going to lose lights and everything. Actually, let me turn this one on, that'd help too. So, power off. Now we have no power. Unplug this stuff. So we have nothing going into the house. And then the only thing we do now, everything is disconnected. I know the generator is disconnected outside. And turn the main back on and we have city power. So now I could dry those clothes without using my generator. I had run my entire house for 19 hours on my power cart, and based upon my consumption rate during that period, the batteries had at least 4.5 hours of power available before I would even have to consider recharging them. Now that the city power was restored, I went back to my daily routine of powering my garage off the power cart. Based upon this real-life application, my plan to maximize harvesting, storing, and using solar energy and minimizing the use of my gas-powered generator worked out really well. Before I had the batteries to store energy, every time I would use my generator, I had excess energy that was lost. I used up the fuel, but I didn't use all of the energy generated. The generator would produce 6.5 kilowatts of power, and I was using less than 3.5 kilowatts, so the balance was lost. Now I can store over 5 kilowatt hours of power to be used later, so I can run my generator for 4 hours and get over 12 hours of use out of it. The system is not saving me bucket loads of money, but I do have the confidence and the peace of mind that the system performs as designed.